supposed to be. I wish I could grasp the purpose of everything. It is so stressful, all this thinking. It is confusing. How do I get through my life if I'm not this or that? Then who am I? I have never felt like I fit in. I feel like an alien with nothing to bring in. I'm making myself appear normal, but I don't care. I'm wandering through the crowd, but I don't really want to be there. What the hell is going on here? It's like I live in a perpetual comedy. I long for truth, can you tell me what is real here? Or is there really something wrong with me? Is there really something wrong with me? Is there really something wrong? You have to make the most of it. That's what they say. But I don't know how to do it. Don't know the way. How others perceive the world, I don't know. I try to walk without leaving a trace in the snow. I have never felt like I fit in. I feel like an alien with nothing to bring in. I'm making myself appear normal, but I don't care. I'm wandering through the crowd, but I don't really want to be there. I have never felt like I fit in. I feel like an alien with nothing to bring in. I'm making myself appear normal, but I don't care. I'm wandering through the crowd, but I don't really want to be there. I don't really want to be there.
Hello and welcome, everyone. Lovely to see you all. To those who are joining me on Zoom, it's great to see you. And welcome to those watching the live stream on YouTube or the recording of the live stream. Yeah, so each month, we do 2 of these open meetings on different themes. And today's theme is longing to belong, which I feel is one that is close to my heart. And I can imagine that for many of you on the spiritual path, this has been a big one for you too. But we will dive into it in more detail in a few minutes. But let's first start by just taking a few moments to tune in with how we're feeling in this moment. So we just close our eyes gently, and we can just take a few breaths, just landing, settling here now. Letting go of whatever else was happening in your life before the start of this session. And bringing all of your attention here now. And just noticing for a few minutes what is happening here in your direct experience. Noticing physical sensations, the sensation of sitting on this seat. Noticing any sounds in the background or the sound of my voice. Noticing any feelings that might be here, emotions. And there might be subtle feelings, or there might be more obvious, stronger feelings. We're just noticing them just the way they are. Nothing needs to be added or fixed or changed. Noticing the breath coming in and going out, just the way it is. No need to do anything. And if there is any doing, any effort, any trying. We just notice that too. And as we are sitting here, just settling in, being present with whatever is arising, we can bring our attention to the title of this open meeting, Longing to Belong. And perhaps this title provokes some feelings in you. Have you longed to belong in your life? Have you felt at times that you do belong, and at other times that you don't belong? How does all of this feel in the body? Just noticing what is touched by this theme. Whatever it is for you is absolutely perfect. And then we can again bring our attention to the sensation of sitting on this seat, feet on the ground. And when you're ready, we can open our eyes, coming back to the screen. So, our theme today is longing to belong. And as I said, this theme really feels close to my heart. And I felt actually it's quite an important theme to explore when it comes to the spiritual path. Because in all the more than 20 years or so that I've been teaching, I feel like all the different kinds of people that I've met on my path, that so many of us have had this longing to belong. And this has provoked the spiritual path. This has caused us to search. And it can feel like perhaps we are longing to fit in, or we're longing to find fulfillment, to find the perfect state, to arrive at the perfect spiritual realization, or that we are longing to find the perfect place, the perfect environment where we feel we belong, or the perfect community, the perfect group of friends, the perfect lover, the perfect partner, the perfect job. All with the hope that when I find this, then I will have this sense of belonging, where I can come to rest, knowing that I belong in this situation, in this place, in this experience, whatever it is. And of course, this keeps us chasing. And although we may have experiences where we do temporarily feel like we belong, once again, it changes. And again, we feel like, okay, this isn't quite it. I need to chase, I need to find this sense of belonging. And I also feel that it's really something cultural in our society, in our culture, in these modern times. We are so displaced, most of us. Most of us didn't grow up with some kind of real sense of belonging in a culture, in a community, even in a family. And this is just a symptom of our culture these days, that our culture is very focused on the individual, being very independent and strong as individuals. And when we look back generations and generations ago, it was more common, or it was normal to be living and growing up in a community, in a tribe, in a group of people who all associated with similar beliefs, similar places, similar language, similar cultures, traditions, rituals, and this gave us a sense of belonging, especially when we had traditions and rituals where we felt like at different times in our lives, we would go through different stages. We would be accompanied by the elders in our community that would instruct or support or teach the younger, newer members, or members of the community. And this structure gave a sense of belonging and wholeness in our growing up, in our evolution as humans. And the very fact that now we live without that, most of us, most of the time, perhaps we have some of that here and there. But on the whole, in our culture, this is sorely missing. And we go in search for that. Most of us have moved away from religion, which would have also provided some sense of community as well, and sense of belonging, common beliefs. And so this leaves us feeling very alone and very displaced, isolated. Most of us live in our little boxes, separated from other people in their boxes. And then we have this online culture, whereas in a way it's fantastic that we can meet like this online, even though we're all in our different countries, different boxes, far away from each other. But at the same time, it's a very distant and lonely existence to be relating to each other in this way. Unless, of course, we also have it in our in-person community. So, because of this modern culture, I feel like we really need to address this sense of longing to belong and grieve actually over this feeling of not belonging. We have to feel the pain, first of all, of the sense of displacement and without a lack of a community or tribe or place or roots that most of us don't have. And this is painful to really grieve over this. But I feel it's important because as long as we are not grieving this lack of sense of belonging, we cannot integrate this and embrace this and find a real sense of belonging in our lives. So, first of all, to acknowledge that, yeah, this is the condition, this is the state of things for these humans. Of course, we're talking on the relative level, and I'll speak about the absolute level in a moment. But on the relative level, these humans, it feels like we do need a sense of support and community and holding in our lives. It's very natural. And without that, it's heartbreaking. And so, yeah, let's just take a moment to feel the heartbreak of that. To feel that longing, which is painful. It is heartbreaking, which opens our heart, of course. And that's an important part of discovering true belonging. But it is painful. And perhaps you've felt in your life also like some kind of misfit. Often I encounter people on this spiritual search who have searched to belong and yet have never felt like they do belong. Perhaps you can relate to that, this feeling of always feeling like you don't fit in, you're a bit different to everybody else. I know for me, I always felt a bit of an alien on a strange planet. And this is very isolating. A sense that my true nature is not being reflected by others around me. That not only do we lack a sense of community, we lack the community that will communally acknowledge our true nature and reflect it and acknowledge it together. That yes, this play of the relative human life is not the only thing here. It's not all about achieving and doing and becoming. There is that is beyond all of it, the absolute that we truly are. But when this isn't reflected by other humans around us, by the community around us, by the culture, the society around us, this feels very isolating. So again, the pain of not feeling like I belong. We meet that pain. We hold that pain in love and compassion for these humans that thrive when we are met, when we are seen to be not just these limited humans, but also our true nature as life itself, playing through and as these humans. When this is consciously acknowledged by those around us, then there's a deep sense of belonging, of feeling so at home. But without that in our community, in our culture, in our society, we have to create it for ourselves. And this starts by first acknowledging that pain, that heartbreak, and then acknowledging that it is only me, who I really am, life itself, that can hold this pain, this heartbreak. Who I am is love itself, holding the pain of not feeling like I belong. The longing to belong is held in love. And this is who I really am. And as love, I am belonging always. I hold everything in me. The heartbreak of longing to belong is held in the unlimited heart that I am. And this is the only true belonging. When we stop looking outside of ourselves, waiting, hoping for one day to belong in the world, one day to be met, to be seen, and we start to meet ourselves, there is deep rest. And of course, this is more challenging when we are alone with this in the relative world, when we don't have the outside world supporting that and reflecting that, then it is more challenging to meet ourselves, to say to the world out there, okay, thank you very much, world out there. I appreciate everything that you are and everything that you do, but you will never provide that sense of belonging that I'm truly longing for. And then we're alone with discovering belonging. Only I can know true belonging in myself. You or anyone else, no one else can give it to me, can do it for me. No perfect place can do it for me, no perfect situation. Nothing can do it for me or give it to me. This is such a paradox, isn't it? That on the human level, we are so supported by that sense of community or reflection of true belonging in others. And paradoxically, we stand alone with it always. But this is how it is. These humans need support. They need community. They need love. They need reflection. They need to be seen and to see. And at the same time, they don't need anything at all because they are life itself, absolute belonging already. And this is the paradox that we live. And this gives us such compassion for these humans that do have these needs. And yet, true belonging is never to be found in any kind of human need. Well, I'll stop there and open it up to you if you have any question, anything you'd like to share. You're welcome to raise your hand, and yeah, we can have a dialogue if you're on Zoom. If you're on YouTube, I can't answer questions, and you're welcome to join next time on the Zoom if you'd like to have a dialogue. And if you're on Zoom, we can also I can also respond to questions on the chat as well, but always prefer to have a dialogue. Suzanne, yes.
Yeah, hello everybody.
Hi.
Thank you so much for just sharing that topic. And I agree with every cell of my being, human and true nature being. It really resonates on all levels. As a mom that I am, trying to create this world that I love to live with my beautiful little daughter, and I'd love to live this so-called spiritual life and tribal community life, indigenous life, where you just celebrate the spiritual and the physical. And it's kind of agreed values that you live up to, and by not by teaching, but just by living and sharing this. I'd love to see her growing up in such a world.
Mm.
Yeah, so I'm in search of that world, inside and outside. And it's, as you say, it's really heartbreaking. It's relationship
Oh, you're cutting out for a moment.
destroying. It's oh, sorry.
Yes, just say
Okay, is it
the
better
last
now?
sentence. I just missed the last sentence.
Yeah, it's like relationship destroying torture. um to bridge imagined worlds that seem to be apart, right? So I'm traveling and I'm searching for my tribe since few months after giving birth. That urge that is just really, really strong. And as you say, I know since I'm a child that at the core of our hearts we're all the same.
Yeah.
And this knowing is grace, and it's also haunting me, which is beautiful. But I feel I'm reaching that state where it's that a point in my life where it's really about communion, really about community within myself. Otherwise, I just it's just unbearable. I can go back to New Zealand. I know you know this beautiful land, and I can feel at home again. And then I go back to Germany, and I feel not at home again. And then it's you. I just don't want to do this
Yeah.
on and off. I really would love to, as you say,
Yeah.
belong in myself. So
Yeah.
I guess my question to you is, with all that experience, with all this longing, so how do I really realize or give up this separation, because or the sense of separation, because I feel this core wound, I'd say, is that belief or experience or whatever, that we are separate from the all, that I am separate and I gotta find it somehow. So
So,
how
there's a few things that I'd like to
yeah,
respond.
thanks.
Yeah, as you were speaking, yeah, there were a few things.
Thank
Um,
you.
First of all, I really understand where you're coming from. And just to share, a little of my personal story. I've spent so many years of my life longing to belong, traveling around the world, searching for the perfect place, the perfect community, the perfect tribe. And after all of that, as much as I had some amazing experiences and met amazing, beautiful people, I didn't find one place where, which is kind of perfect, one place or one group or one tribe or whatever. And I mean, I'm not saying you should necessarily give up on that dream, because who knows, for you it may be totally different. But I would say that the hope for this perfect situation, whatever it is, will, it is inevitable that you'll be disappointed
Yeah.
because humans are human. That's the bottom line, really. Everybody's a bit messy. And so, as much as we all would love to live in harmony and, focusing on the spiritual and skipping off into the sunset, holding hands, and singing beautiful songs, the reality of it is that people on the whole are believing in their stories, their mental stories, and even people who are more mature on the spiritual path for a longer time, are still struggling with various human stuff. And so there is no such thing as the perfect place, the perfect group of people, unless you can acknowledge, I feel, that that we're a mess, that we're all a mess,
Mm.
and this to me gives so much freedom to connect and to constantly forgive each other, for being human and for just having to still explore and feel and react and be messy humans. That's one thing. And then this sense of being a misfit or not feeling like I belong, makes us also feel very special, right?
Mm.
So, like I'm very different to everybody around me. So I need to find and create the perfect kind of community where there's only very special people there, right?
Mm.
Um, and this keeps us in a very superior position,
Mm.
right? Where we look down on these kind of ordinary people who are not so spiritual or, not so special. And, this is again very isolating and creating these boundaries of separation. And it's not real, right? It's just, the bottom line is that we're not special, we're not superior, we're very ordinary. We've just found a different path to explore our ordinariness. So I've realized also that, we need to kind of come full circle back to meeting our ordinariness, acknowledging the people that are around us and finding our community where we are,
Mm.
or creating our community where we are. Yeah. And noticing how we create these boundaries of separation in ourselves, because if we're longing to be met beyond separation, we have to see where we are. First of all, not meeting parts of ourselves, where we're separating out parts of ourselves and saying, well, no, that's not spiritual enough. When I get rid of that part, then I'll be more spiritual. Or how we're doing that with other people. But I also completely understand as a parent, right? You want your child to grow up in some kind of perfect, supportive community. Yeah, and good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are such beautiful communities around, but they're still full of humans. Don't
Mm.
forget.
Can I add something?
Okay, just one more thing.
Yeah. I feel one really beautiful helper inside of me is sort of a mistrust in finding it here, there. There's always like, I guess this feeling and sense, this is not the true thing I'm looking for. This is not the true thing. No, that's not what I really mean. That's not what I really sense. And this keeps going on forever. And then I feel this is kind of a navigation too. Like whenever I look this way, it's like, no, 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 no. Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a thin line because that distrust can be from the mind that will never be satisfied, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it also, like you say, can be a sense of knowing somehow, an intuitive sense that this situation, this people, this place, or whatever this experience is not the ultimate knowing, right? It's not the
Yeah.
ultimate that you're searching for, which is true because it all is not it. But at the same time, that intuitive sense will lead you also to words, experiences, places, teachers that will point you back to what is true.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Marit.
Right.
Hi.
Yeah, I'm looking back into moments in my life that I did had a sense of belonging. And but it was never constant. So I was wondering if it's a state like joy, or because even if you find a group of people that resonate with you, something can happen. You have an argument one evening with someone, or
Yeah.
something's changing, or some person falls away, and then the dynamic gets different. Yeah.
Yes, that's why the other side of the paradox is the most important, that actually we have to find belonging in ourselves. And then, of course, we enjoy that sense of belonging in community. But if it shifts, if it changes, then although we may feel the pain of that, we still don't lose that sense of belonging. And it doesn't mean that we don't feel the pain of a change in our community or our friendships, but it doesn't shake that sense that actually I'm okay as I am. I am enough as I am. I belong no matter what I do, what I say, what I feel, right? Because that actually is that sense of belonging, isn't it? Actually, we should have talked about that at the beginning. What is it, right? What does it mean to feel that sense of belonging? And yeah, I would say that it is a sense that I am enough, right? Just as I am on the human level, right? That I don't need to fix myself or change or adapt to suit others. That even when others don't like me or don't like what I'm doing or saying, or that it may be uncomfortable, it may be painful to feel that, but it doesn't mean that I'm any less.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe as humans also tend to adjust to fit in because of this sense of belonging. Yeah.
It's a survival mechanism as well.
So it takes also courage, I guess, to be true to yourself no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, this sense of being a misfit that many of us have had, perhaps our whole lives, I feel like the shift that I've personally gone through more and more in my life is that shifting from believing that that's a problem, like that being a misfit is a problem, and I need to adjust to fit in with others, to actually coming full circle back to honoring the misfit and loving the misfit, right? Realizing that actually, I love being a misfit. I don't want to belong actually in most circles. I don't want to fit in. I don't want to adapt. That I will always be a misfit, because in fact the reality is that we are all misfits. We're all unique expressions of life,
Mm,
right? So why should we fit in with others when we
yeah.
are always going to be unique?
Yeah, so there's also a freedom in not belonging.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because sometimes I have this idea that with people who really have this sense of belonging to a family, close family, or a group of friends, I always tend to envy that. But um, there's a downside also about it, and plus about not to belong. Like maybe then the tendency is more to look to real belonging, like yeah.
Yes, I mean, again, in my experience, the sense of real belonging in the on the human level I'm talking about has I've experienced when I meet other misfits who are really okay with being misfits. Then
Mhm.
everyone stands alone but together, and that's beautiful.
Yeah, so maybe I want to have a community of misfits now.
Let's create one. It's not going to be perfect.
No, no, yeah, and maybe I also think about when someone is dying, and you belong to a family, then you're also alone in that. Yeah. So if you find the not belonging in life already somehow, it's like a dying in a way, maybe. I don't know. Yeah.
You mean when someone close to you dies and
No, when you're dying yourself.
you're
So
dying yourself?
yeah,
Okay.
like if you belong to a family, it feels really safe and supportive, and but then one day you are dying and then you have to let go also. Uh,
Yeah. You
yeah,
to let go of the whole thing, huh?
yeah, yeah. Well, I'm not sure where I want to go with this, but yeah. Yeah, but maybe that it's you have to let go you have to let go when you die, so it happens for everyone
Yeah.
at a point. Yeah,
That we all have to stand alone as we face
yeah,
death. Yeah.
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 So the
Uh,
privilege, if you go to that earlier in life because you are a misfit, or then you have died already in a way, maybe. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. I mean, this is also brings us back to awakening, right? There's waking up out of these separate me identities is a death, and dying before you die. When we wake up out of these trying to fit in, for example, trying to um, be liked by others, to get approval, get love from the outside. And we wake up more and more out of these kinds of identities. It is also a loss, right? Losing the hope that one day we will belong, losing the hope that one day I will get the perfect approval from outside of me, from the others, um, and dying to that. leaves us absolutely alone, and yet fully with myself.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Marit. Anyone else? I really like how this theme has taken us in all directions already. On the human level, on the absolute level, in being okay with not belonging, longing to belong. Yeah. And it all exists simultaneously, right? There's no one way or right way. David.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. I don't really know what I don't really have a question. I just kind of felt called to the invitation you have. Um, um, I mean, today resonates with me. I've always had difficulty um, with socializing, and um, I've always had a great sense of shame and sort of self-judgment, which has always kept me isolated from people. So I think today you spoke of just finding oneself within with the love that embraces all of this. And I don't know, perhaps you could just speak a little bit more about that. It'd be nice, I think.
About the love that embraces all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, in this case, the love, the way I'm using the word love, I'm referring to who we really are, like beyond the humans, beyond this whole play of feelings, sensations, experiences, that is aware of it all. And that awareness is aware no matter what, no matter what the experience is. So even, for example, feeling shame, as you mentioned, the awareness is aware of the shame and doesn't have a preference for it to be any different. It doesn't have any opinion about it, doesn't need to fix it or change it or do anything about it. It's just aware of it. And that's why I use the word love, because this is unconditional love that doesn't need anything to change. It just holds it. It just knows that this is what's here. It's an unconditional embrace. So even in those challenging times when you find socializing difficult, or any other challenging times, or any times, in fact, in our lives, that love that is the baseline for it all, it holds the experience just the way it is, and knows that it's absolutely okay for it to be just the way it is, that there's nothing wrong, nothing missing, no problem to be fixed. It's just shame to be felt in this moment, or this challenge to be experienced or dealt with, or whatever, in this moment. And that's just how it is. And love is so unlimited and so big. The embrace is so big that it includes it all. This love is not waiting for some kind of perfectly loving experience or particularly nice experience. Love embraces this human, just the way you are, with all the messy flaws that we have, with all the thoughts, the emotions, the struggles, the wounds, the traumas, the ups and the downs. Love loves it all, simply because this is what's arising here now, here to be loved. Okay, I don't know if that is what you wanted to hear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. I see something from Dennis. Oh, the writing's very small today. I have felt loneliness, exclusion, as well as human urges to connect and to share, but I've never felt I didn't belong because I've always felt surrounded by unseen others and a presence that makes me feel as if I simply belong here as whatever I am. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, it depends also how we use this word belong. Right? Um, yeah, I mean, some people might say that that feeling of loneliness or exclusion might be a feeling of not belonging. But yeah, it's beautiful what you say, that you feel surrounded by unseen others. Yeah, and yeah, I mean, of course, different people feel these kinds of things in different ways, and are more or less sensitive to that kind of unseen support. And perhaps we even call it different things. And it's wonderful that you have felt supported in that way. Sometimes it can feel as if the human sense of not belonging in our human lives can feel so strong that we forget or we overlook a deeper sense of knowing that actually who I really am belongs. I belong so deeply simply because I am. But because in our human existence, we're not surrounded by that beautiful community of people that are reflecting that consciously, it's easy to overlook it or forget it. Mm. It seems like our modern culture is an amazing challenge for us all. You know, just the very fact, I mean, we can fall into the victim position and say, well, oh, we're victims of our culture, which I feel is partly true without the victim story. But actually, it's also a beautiful opportunity to stand alone. Well, first of all, to try to, if possible, create some kind of community of misfits, but also to stand alone in our acknowledgement of that true belonging that we are. I see, Suzanne, you have a last question?
Yeah, I feel that's a challenge maybe for my mind or for my heart or both. Because as much as I'm aware of so-called indigenous communities, I feel their understanding of us as humans in this world is that we are all one with everything. And it's not a concept. It is a lived experience. This kind of pulls me towards those wisdom-based cultures, I feel. But at the same time, it's like reaching out to be something given by them, which is kind of impossible.
To be something given, what do you mean?
Yeah, so if I would meet them, they might just, I don't know, put a hand on my head and say, okay, now you're blessed. You're kind of, so you're eligible to access this realm or dimension or something like that. But of course, I know it's not true. It's everywhere for everyone and everything.
Yes, that's why we have to find it within ourselves, right? First of all.
Mm.
And yes, it's beautiful that there are those cultures, those communities that do exist, that they know and they live this oneness.
Mm.
And it's supported by the community, the tribe around that, and as you say, that they are in deep communion with nature, with each other, with within their daily lives. But in our modern culture, we have been so kind of displaced from that that yeah, we kind of don't really know how to do that anymore.
Yes.
So yes, we can access perhaps some of those indigenous cultures, but I feel like just borrowing from other cultures can be supportive, but we also have to find our own way. And it might be a bit of this and a bit of that that can support us, of course. When we don't find it in our own culture,
Mm.
we search wherever we can find it, right? That's why so often Westerners have gone to the East, right, to try to find some answers there. So we try our best. and we do whatever we can to support ourselves. But in the end, it really comes down to knowing that it's not outside of me.
And how do you know that for good?
In a way, in a way, like the journey of hoping and being disappointed is all part of it.
Mm-hmm.
In a way, your hope that one day you'll find the perfect community or the perfect place or the perfect situation, you need to follow those hopes, and you need to go through discovering that they are not perfect and feeling the disappointment of that. Because me just telling you that they don't exist, it's you'll still have hope, right? And so as long as you have hope, you need to discover for yourself that it is hopeless.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a negative thing. It's not bad that it's hopeless, because every time you discover that what you had hoped is not out there, you fall back to yourself.
Yeah.
And that's the difference between knowing this as a concept and really realizing it in your lived experience.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not just an idea to hold on to, yeah, we're all one, and it's really realizing that what you're looking for is not out there.
Yeah.
So you have to search for it and not find it.
Mm-hmm.
And be left with just yourself.
Yeah, it's more like this, how do you know for good within myself,
Yeah. And that is in discovering how hopeless it is, and you never find it outside of yourself.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
you try and fail.
Mm.
So yeah, good luck. And part of that process is exhausting yourself until you come to rest in what is here now. So just trying to be at rest now doesn't make sense when you are still hopeful.
Mm.
Right? It's fake, It's like a fake rest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. Okay, well, thank you very much, everyone. We'll stop there for today. And yeah, just to say that the next open meeting is about it's called the anxiety of being alive. So it's all about anxiety, and that is, when is that? The 7th of September. So yeah, I'd love to see some of you there. And also just a reminder that every Tuesday morning, we have an hour of silence that we sit together, that is also live streamed. So you're welcome to join me tomorrow. Oh, no, not tomorrow. Today's Sunday. On Tuesday at 10:30 UK time. And yeah, if you also would like to join the retreat in Portugal in November, the first week in November, the early bird discount finishes at the end of August. So now's your chance to get a little bit of a discount. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. It's been a pleasure. See you next time. Lots of